Hey, what is going on, everybody out there? This is a contest entry for Horror's Ball, his 150 plus sub contest. First of all, man, congratulations. You deserve it. If you guys haven't checked out Horror's Ball, you need to go over and check it out and subscribe. He does things a little bit differently than most YouTubers. You know, a lot of them sort of have their niche. Horror update or DVD updates or reviews or both. He sort of does kind of all in one. He does updates, he does reviews, he does unboxings, and he has a theme for each show, topic to talk about. Um, it's sort of in the format of a real sort of show. And it's really cool, and I predict he's going to be pretty popular on here. So if you haven't checked him out, go check him out, subscribe. Really nice guy. Um, Contest is pick a horror ending that you really like, one that you're not so fond of, and then there's sort of an extra credit. Um, Pick one of his recommendations that you agree with and sort of talk about it. So I'm doing all three here. So let's go. And the horror ending, this one is probably pretty. I guess I didn't have to think too hard about this one. I was actually going to do the one of my favorite horror endings for the recommendation that he did as the extra credit, but I decided to go with a different movie for favorite, not favorite, but one of favorite horror endings. And that would be Sleepaway Camp. Um, Reason being, I don't know that there's another slasher film from that time that really had this sort of surprise ending the way that this one did. It was completely a surprise the first time I watched it. And, to be honest, I mean, more than likely, most of us have seen this. If you haven't, the very probably one or two people out there that hasn't seen Sleepaway Camp. For those of you who don't know, it takes place at a camp. There's a series of murders going on, and pretty much you find out that the murderer is a boy who has been basically brought up as a little girl. And at the end, you see her in their full glory. Genitals hanging out and everything. Not to mention, it's just a creepy shot at the end. Completely creepy shot. So for the two or three people out there that haven't seen it, sorry to ruin it for you, but there you go. But I think the thing that makes this ending such a favorite is that I'm not so sure that this film, had it not have been for its ending and, the way the killer was, I'm not so sure that we would be as enthralled with Sleepaway Camp as we are. I think the ending completely made the whole movie. It was sort of a mediocre slasher up to that point, in my opinion. It had its charms. Um, it's very cheesy and funny, and I mean, some of the shorts that some of these guys wear, wow, those jean shorts, that's enough to laugh at in and of itself. But I really think that the ending to this film really made the movie, and probably, is what made it successful and what spawned two other sequels. Um, so, Sleepaway Camp, man. One of the greatest endings in slasher film history, in my opinion. fantastic. Look at that cover. Isn't that a great cover? One of the best covers. Okay. Now one that I wasn't so fond of. This one I don't own because I didn't really care for the movie. Would I have bought the movie had the ending been better? I don't know. Anyway, it's Insidious. I'm not a huge fan of ghost movies, haunted house movies. I probably would not have even watched it, to be honest, if my girlfriend wasn't such a fan of them. She really likes them. She likes to sit in the dark and you know, get scared by jump scares and whatnot. This is actually probably more of a third act problem than it is exactly the very, very end, but it all leads up to this sort of ending that sort of got a little silly to me. It was your typical haunted house film, pretty much, ghost movie. Um, you know, a lot of scares, a lot of weird things going on. The kid, their child, had been just all of a sudden had just gone missing in the middle of the night, and nobody knew anything about it. And they ended up moving out of the house, and the spirit followed them. And it turned out that it wasn't a human spirit; it was sort of like a demon spirit that had taken the child, and he was in a land of sort of limbo, or what he believed to be a dream, but was actually a reality. He was living in sort of this alternate dimension. Um, and when the film sort of took a turn for the worse was when you find out that it was hereditary, and that the father could do the same thing. He had just forgotten about it because of a spirit that used to visit him when he was a child. They sort of put it out of his mind, and he'd forgotten about it. So he has to go in sort of this deep sleep into dreamland sort of area to get him back, which was okay. I'm still following it at this point and going, all right, not too terrible. When it really took a turn and I was going, okay, this is just ridiculous, was when he finally found this thing's lair, and it looked like I don't know, a red velvet nightmare. It looked like red curtains up everywhere, and he sees his son, and he's going to, unchain him. And you look up in this sort of balcony area, and the demon thing, who you hadn't seen very much of throughout the film, which made it that much more frightening, is up there like listening to some sort of music and sharpening his finger rings. You know those things you used to get at Hot Topic, the ones with the fit on the finger and has a claw? He's like sharpening them, and it just was so silly. It totally took any sort of mystery and or fear out of that character. It made him very goofy. Um, and at the end, of course, there is another sort of jump scare where they're almost home, and the father comes face to face with the ghost woman that used to haunt him. And of course, she possesses his body. And at the end, she jumps out and basically kills the medium. It just seemed to me that they really tried to pack in a whole lot at the end of the film, and a whole lot of unneeded sort of extras that just didn't work for me. I thought it turned really goofy and silly, and it seemed like they wanted to try to make something different, and then they ended up making something very typical of the genre. So, there it is, Insidious. Now on to my recommendation of his that I agree with. This was going to be my original, one of my favorite horror movie endings, because it has a great ending, which I just love the way this film ends, but I decided to do a different one. That is this, Murder Loves Killers 2. I did a review on this, so if you want to check that out, you can go back and check that out. Honestly, one of my favorites that I've seen this year. It didn't come out this year, but I just saw it It came out in 2009, but really awesome low-budget slasher flick. These guys didn't have much money, and they really made do with what they had, story-wise, and the way this whole thing was shot. There's a lot of one-shots where it's a single shot, and they just follow it the whole way through, which takes a lot of skill on both parts, directing and acting. And like I said, the ending to this thing is, I thought it was great. I love the way it ends. Some people might not like it just because it's sort of abrupt, but I thought it was clever and a whole lot of fun. The whole film is very clever and a whole lot. I mean, almost everybody dies within the first 30 minutes. You know, usually that's saved until all the killing is sort of saved into the third act, but not in this one. It sort of flips it around and flips it on its head. But definitely an awesome one to check out. If you guys have not seen this, seriously, you can get it pretty cheap on Amazon. I would highly recommend this. So go check out Murder Loves Killers 2. So there's my contest entry, and I hope you guys enjoy, and good luck to everybody else. Congratulations, Horseball, on your 150 plus subs. I'm sure there is many more to come, and I will see you guys next time.